So Mary Liz McCurdy is a global lead of health and fitness apps from Google Play. She's going to share ecosystem-level insights and opportunities to help transform your business in 2018. We're very pleased to welcome Mary Liz McCurdy.
Thanks, Julie. Great. Awesome. Great. Well, thanks everyone for being here. It's an honor to sit in between you and cocktails. I know it's the ultimate honor. So what we're going to be talking about today is I put on here opportunities to achieve your app fitness goals. But what that means in my world, when I know health and fitness means so many different things, especially at CES where we're all coming from different walks of life. What we're talking about is consumer apps that are, in my definition, just services that are proactively trying to help users live healthier lives. So we'll be covering fitness, diet, meditation, and women's health, like subcategories like that. Healthcare, diagnosis, and medical categories won't be included in the presentation. And again, to reiterate what Julie said, a little bit about me. So I've been at Google for 6.5 years, and I'm the global lead for health and fitness apps on Google Play and Android. So I have a unique purview and a front row seat to market level trends and insights that are happening in the developer community. So I thought it would be neat to spend the next few minutes sharing some market level insights with you. We'll cover some trends and then some opportunities that are addressable for you in 2018. So to start, let's level set and walk down memory lane. We'll talk about some fitness fundamentals, like how rapidly the fitness industry has changed in the last 3 to 4 decades. So I love this slide because it just illustrates the confluence of brands, pop culture, and enabling platforms which have made health and fitness ubiquitous in developed markets. Most recently, as we all know, within the past 10 years, the launch of the smartphone created a tectonic shift in how we experience fitness, creating the proliferation not only of smartphones, sensors, and entirely new industries and categories, but an unprecedented amount of first-party consumer data. This data, as we know, is highly attractive to many different industries, one of which I wanted to call out was retailers who went on a $2 billion shopping spree the past few years, acquiring many of the top consumer-focused health and fitness apps, some of which are mentioned here. This shopping spree, again, was the holy grail, or these consumer apps were the holy grail to many of these different fitness retailers, as brands traditionally lacked this kind of first-party consumer info. And augmenting first-party consumer data to help improve your digital sales strategy, supply chain, and ultimately, in many cases, sell more shoes was a very, what seemed like the right idea to bet on. So that was one major trend that has taken place in the past few years. Another consumer-focused trend, which I wanted to highlight, which has come up today quite a bit, is the quantified self movement. So we all know that the proliferation of sensors has led us swimming in data, often wondering, so what, right? We know everything about us when it comes to numbers, but the jury is still out on the efficacy of if knowing everything about you from a number standpoint is really moving the needle from a mass market user behavior standpoint. So I call this the first wave of apps. The promising part is that at CES and opportunities like this where we have a hive mind of folks getting together, it's clear that technology can do so much more when it comes to changing health behavior of folks out there. So what I wanted to cover was 3 major opportunities that I thought would be addressable for you in 2018. So the first we'll talk about, opportunity number 1, is embracing markets outside your backyard, if your backyard is in the US. So what do I mean by that? So from a mobile app ecosystem, again, where I sit, and not just Google Play, but across mobile app platforms, we're seeing the growth from an app installs perspective coming from outside the US, growing 15% year over year. Whereas in the US, growth is hovering around 5% year over year. Well, let's take a look outside not just the app ecosystem, and when we look at the broader health and fitness industry revenue, we can see that, sure, the US does lead in absolute revenue today, and it's worth absolutely calling out. But let's look at the next few countries beneath the US. You can see APAC, China, India, and Japan are fast following the US, showing that there's a huge opportunity and current business in APAC within the health and fitness industry. When we look closer at the growth rates, we can actually see that they're growing, APAC is growing significantly faster, specifically China, who is on the heels of the US when it comes to absolute revenue, but the growth rate is doubled, where the US is hovering again at 15% year over year, 15% year over year. So China, this isn't a surprise to many of you in the audience who know what addressable and lucrative market it is. Why do you ask? I could go on for hours, but the long and short of it is China has 385 million millennials who are health conscious, tech obsessed, and fitness oriented. And so first opportunity number one, look outside your backyard for growth and keep your eye on APAC. Opportunity number two, embrace the new consumer. So I'm sure many of you know about the millennial buzz, and I won't go into all of the different trends, but I did want to talk about millennials, now the largest living generation, 2.3 billion worldwide, have surpassed other generations. Their definition of fitness is fundamentally different than other living generations. For millennials, health is not just physical fitness, and health is not just being sick. Health is an interdisciplinary, holistic definition, which includes some of these categories I have on here, like social, physical, intellectual, spiritual, reproductive, occupational, and so on. And so when millennials and future generations perhaps describe what they're looking for when it comes to a health and fitness app, it's not a one-trick pony. It's a zero-sum game that you have one app and it speaks to all of your truths. Two examples I want to illustrate here are the rise of meditation, which is not just picked up by millennials, but is such a trend nonetheless I wanted to highlight. Meditation is one of the fastest growing industries across the board. It became a $1 billion industry in 2015 with no signs of slowing down, growing 50% year over year. Similarly, women's health or reproductive health has moved past what was previously considered a niche and something that wasn't getting a ton of attention, completely shifted to 2014 leading VC funding when it came to the health and fitness category. And within the Google Play world, specifically, is the largest active install base within the health and fitness app category. So I can't emphasize enough how this is not just a niche, it's a major, and if not the biggest interest level, the biggest subcategory within the health and fitness category, showing that this definition of fitness is no longer just physical fitness. We have to think about fitness as it relates to all of those other subcategories as well. Opportunity number three, embracing new technology. So this is very fitting while we're at CES, as I know we're all thinking about new technology trends. And it's worth calling out not just embracing technology for technology's sake. I think we all know, I think this New Yorker cartoon highlights it nicely, that just adopting technology doesn't mean it's actually making you live a healthier life, right? So it says here, go make daddy's Fitbit think he's exercising. So it's not just about technology adoption, it's about using new technologies to drive engagement that results in health outcomes. So I thought the best way of me illustrating this was highlighting some developer examples who were doing a really fantastic job embracing new technology to drive engagement, resulting in better business and health outcomes. So first developer I wanted to highlight was Strava, who is a San Francisco-based social networking, fitness community-based app. And they do a fantastic job embracing game mechanics among other things, to drive competition, resulting in tremendous engagement. Peloton similarly embraces game mechanics and also has that real competition, but the technology I wanted to highlight, which they do a fantastic job with, is live and on demand, which drives not only motivation, but also convenience, which drives engagement, and frankly, unprecedented engagement, where they have, I believe, over 95% retention of their one-year subscriber, or of their subscription memberships for annual subscriptions. Pretty unbelievable. Another technology that I wanted to highlight was Pokemon Go, or was best illustrated through Pokemon Go, who combined both AR and IP to drive record levels of not just engagement, but also mass market user bases. And so while Pokemon Go not only got their existing user base moving more, it got more people moving than ever before. And so what I mean by that is typically with consumer-focused fitness apps where users who were already exercising picked up a new exercise habit, the exciting thing that Pokemon Go did was it got users who previously were inactive moving. And I think that is just a great illustration of how using technology can not only drive engagement, but also can have more mass market improvements by getting more people moving. And the last technology that I wanted to highlight was assistive technology, which was a major theme throughout CES. On the right here, I'm being a little self-deprecating, but we have Google Fit's older version of the app where it just listed specifically what numbers, like how many steps you'd taken or how many calories you'd had, and you were essentially getting raw data. Consumer was left wondering, so what? And often, wasn't quite as sticky as we'd like it to be. On the right, I have under Wahoo, a really magical experience by Lark, who's a San Francisco AI-powered based startup company that was the first and only AI company to receive full US government and CDC funding to fully replace live healthcare professionals or nurses because of the efficacy of the app. In Lark, the chatbot is powering an amazing coaching experience where the user is not just getting raw data on how many steps they've taken, but instead is getting instruction on what they should do next and how they can personally improve their health outcomes. So, in summary, those were a few different new technologies that are driving better engagement, or that are driving great engagement, resulting in better health outcomes. I wanted to leave you with a few home exercises. Maybe something you can think about at cocktail hour. Who is your audience and where are your opportunities? How do you create highly engaged and personalized experiences embracing new technologies? And last, how can you move from reactive, like that quantified self guy I showed in the beginning, to interactive, like the Lark example? With that, just wanted to thank you for your time and for having me, and I'll be around to answer any questions.